Aloha and welcome to A Course in Miracles. We're on lesson 103 of the Workbook for Students. This is a short lesson, but it's a very, very good one. It's a very, very powerful lesson. God, being love, is also happiness. Happiness is an attribute of love. It cannot be apart from it, nor can it be experienced where love is not. Love has no limits, being everywhere. And therefore, joy is everywhere as well. Yet can the mind deny that this is so, believing there are gaps in love where sin can enter, bringing pain instead of joy? This strange belief would limit happiness by redefining love as limited and introducing opposition in what has no limit and no opposite. So this is saying that love really has no opposite and it has no limit. But for some reason, we've come up with the belief that love is on and off. Sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not there. And we often feel this way about God's love, that God loves us, but he also gets angry with us. Or God loves us, but we can also change that love into wrath or even hate. Like in the Bible it says, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. And what happens is, because we can't depend, because we have this belief that love is conditional, then fear enters into our hearts and our minds because we're afraid that we can lose this love or change this love. So it says, now fear is associated then with love, and its results become the heritage of minds that think what they have made is real. These images, with no reality and truth, bear witness to the fear of God, forgetting being love that he must be joy. I remember one verse in particularly that always didn't sit well with me for all of my life growing up in the Christian tradition, was the verse that says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. And I would always like, how can that be? How can you be close to someone like God and be afraid of them at the same time? And of course now I know that you can't. But it was always hard for me to digest that verse in the Bible. Well, it must be true because that's what it says. So how am I going to be afraid of God and love God at the same time? And so I spent my whole life trying to please God and thinking that every time I messed up that I was afraid that I was going to lose his love. Sort of like I knew, kind of in my mind, I said, okay, he has to love me because Jesus died for me on the cross and I believe in Jesus. So for Jesus' sake, my Father has to love me. But I don't think he likes me very much. But anyway, so fear is associated with them with love. These images with no reality and truth bear witness to the fear of God, forgetting being love, he must be joy. This basic error we will try again to bring to truth today and teach ourselves that God, being love, is also happiness. To fear him is to be afraid of joy. God, being love, is also happiness. To fear him is to be afraid of joy. And that's the thought that we are going to use. That's the truth that we are going to bring the fear of God. If there's any fear of God that's lingering there, we're going to bring it to this truth. Begin your periods of practice today with this association, which corrects the false belief that God is fear. It also emphasizes happiness belongs to us because of what He, God, is. Allow this one correction. God, being love, is also happiness. To fear him is to be afraid of joy. Allow this one correction to be placed within your mind each waking hour today. Then welcome all the happiness it brings as truth replaces fear with joy and becomes what you expect to take the place of pain. God, being love, it will be given you. Bolster this expectation frequently throughout the day and quiet all the fears with this assurance, kindly and wholly true, that God, being love, is also happiness. And it is happiness that I seek today. I cannot fail because I seek the truth. So that's the lesson for today, but it is a very, very powerful lesson on our way to union with ourselves and living in our function of happiness, finding our joy. So lesson 103, God being love is also happiness. Have a great day, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you for being with me.